Mr Speaker.
I call in Lees-Galloway.
Thank you very much, Mr Speaker. It is a privilege and honour to be able to speak in this third reading of the Rangitāne or Manawatu Claims Settlement Bill. As others have said before me, this is one step on an incredibly long journey for Rangitāne or Manawatu. A long journey that started, well, this phase of it started back in 1998. Of course, really, it started all the way back in the 19th century. And others have spoken of the dignity and tenacity that the leaders of Rangitāne have shown. I particularly want to acknowledge Danielle Harris and her team and everyone who has gone before in bringing this claim before the tribunal and ultimately allowing us to share in this journey for this brief period where we've been dealing with the legislation, which is such a vital component of the redress and the ability to move forward from the wrongs that have been committed in the past. I want to acknowledge that Rangitāne or Manawatu has suffered just about every breach of the treaty that was possible. Unreasonable deals that you were forced to accept, unreasonable confiscation or acquisition of land, and pitiful attempts at redress, which were never going to be enough to acknowledge the loss that was suffered. And I want to acknowledge today that this redress, this apology, this compensation, of course, does not in any way totally compensate the loss that Rangitāne has suffered. No treaty settlement does. And I want to acknowledge all iwi for being prepared to settle these claims with a settlement that is acceptable to the Crown, that can be met by the Crown, but obviously in no way meets, in financial terms, the loss that any iwi has suffered. And I think that's important for the people of New Zealand to know, because although we have much more consensus today around the treaty settlement process, we have a lot more consensus in this House, and that certainly helps us to make progress when it is not a political football in this House. We no longer have talk of fiscal envelopes or restrictions on how we will achieve settlement of treaty claims. But there's still the occasional person out there who thinks that somehow everybody should just move on and pretend that nothing ever happened. And I think those people need to understand that actually the people who are giving up the most in this are the iwi who are prepared to settle for what are tiny proportions of what they have lost in financial terms. So thank you for doing that. I'm looking forward to the next phase. We have been able to join you on this little bit of it, and at this point we hand it back to you now to take what you receive out of this settlement, take the opportunities that are created by this settlement to build a future for your youngsters and for your iwi, and I hope to be able to participate even more than you currently do in the Palmerston North community and in the wider Manawatu community. And I'm looking forward to the relationships, the special relationships that are formed in this legislation, but also the way in which you will be able to manage your own assets and forge your own path into the future, and how important that is going to be to our wider community. I don't think people actually appreciate just how important that is going to be to our region and to our community. But it's exciting, and we're looking forward to seeing what you can achieve and how you can further your involvement and your ability to drive our community and our economy forward. And that is exciting and incredibly important for us, not just for you and for your own people, but for the whole community in Palmerston North and Manawatu. So thank you for letting us be part of your story. I'm so looking forward to the future. Thank you for your tenacity, for your dignity, and for sticking with what can be a challenging process when there are people from all sides challenging the leadership and challenging the process. You've held your heads high, you've come to a settlement, and it is an awesome opportunity for the iwi to go forward, and I'm looking forward to us all being able to be part of that. Thank you.